Gratitude.
Hey Mom, this is the Movement for Mom series, and I'm writing this just for you to, age gracefully, to move with mobility and ability and capability and maybe even some agility in there. And I considered that maybe other people's parents could benefit from this as well. So I hope you're okay with me writing some of these and then sharing them with the world as well for all those parents out there. The Movement for Mom series is just going to cover some basic human movements that will be very valuable to the aging process, as well as anybody that just wants to move a little bit better. These could also be considered movement snacks. What I'm going to start with today is the squat. The squat is so important because the squat is an awful lot like a sit. A sit and a squat aren't that dissimilar, and this comes into play with kids and grandkids, bags of mulch, bags of dog food, picking up anything up off the ground. The entry could be a squat type position. We've also got a hinge, but we're going to get to that later. Our squat, if I were just to come to a standing position, let's start with heels right under our shoulders. To figure that out, I just put my hands straight down. If they kind of line up, I'm pretty close. Some people are going to be a bit more narrow. Some people are going to be a bit wider. I'd like you to experiment to see how it feels. Today's squat, and I say today's squat because there's a bunch of varieties, but the one we're going to do today is one where we're focusing on pushing the hips back. Feel a little bit of the shift of my weight go back towards my heels. And then I come and sit down. The reason we want to do this is if you were to see this squat from the side, this is how we sit onto things. So I send my bootay back to sit onto something. Versus if I were to do a more hips and knee forward squat, it would kind of send my butt and my whole center of mass forward, and I wouldn't be very good at sitting on things. So I'm just going to give you some really simple cues today. We're going to go with just rolling the shoulders down and back, and my knees, I want them to push out on this squat. So I've just rolled my shoulders down and back. I'm going hips back and knees out, feeling out that movement, and then coming back up again. I could, if I needed to, get a little bit of momentum by shifting my torso forward and then using my hand. That would be okay. Just got a couple cracks because that was the first one of those I did today. And I could also, with no assistance, squat back using my hands as a ballast or balance, and then come back up the same way. And that's where we're trying to get. If all of this is just way too easy, I can add weight, and that's a delightful way to make this a harder movement. And I would just sink my hips back. On this one, I could just kind of float on the ball, and then drive back up, and that would be a little harder as well. At first, you can just sit on it. That's our squat, and I want you to try that on a couch, a stool, a Swiss ball, whatever you have access to. And if you've graduated that pretty easily, then we could go to what we would call an air squat, which is just coming down and then coming back up again. If you're just starting these, let's do 3 sets of 5, and that's great. As you go, you could work up to 3 sets of 10. At a certain point, you don't want to just keep going up in reps. We would want to add resistance as long as our form is good, because that's a great way to help improve bone density, your balance, your strength, as well as just keeping those muscles and bones working the way they should. Okay, movements for Mom. I hope you enjoyed the squat. Love you, Mom.